And during the migration, was it a bit of a phased approach, or how did that?
Yeah,
wash
look,
out?
like anyone, we went pretty cautiously, and we went with, I think it was Exchange and AD, and we ran this hybridized kind of environment. And yeah, that's probably where we started, and then it just grew. From there, once we got our feet in the water there, we just said, oh, look, this is fine. Like, there's no issues with this, no reliability issues. Things were up all the time, and we just went, that's it. So from there, it went down data centers, and we had all our data in there. We're doing backups. It was just non-stop after that. Then we're housing data warehouses, for Power BI stuff. And it just grew, and it has just continued to grow. But yeah.
Yeah, cool. Were there any lessons you learned that might be of benefit to any other schools? Any traps to watch out for?
Yeah.
Don't let the database guy deploy too many databases.
I guess one of the other reasons we chose Azure as well is I'm pretty cynical by nature. I think most IT guys are. It's how we are. We don't really believe much, especially marketing spin. But I can tell you that one incredibly important factor in schools, which is getting more important, is the things surrounding data sovereignty, right? So, people don't like talking about it, but where's your data stored? What countries is it sitting in? Where's it replicating to? All this stuff, Once we started unpacking Microsoft and we're in Melbourne data centers and so on, it just became, way more confidence inspiring to move into that space. I'm responsible, and most IT guys in my position are responsible for managing that data sovereignty, and, it keeps me up at night. Like, if I lose medical data on students and it goes all over the internet and who knows where, like, that's on me. I've got to live with that. So that's stressful, and I certainly think it's something to think about. And when you look at other services, and I look at people, I'm not a real Google man. I see companies like that as marketing companies. That's what they do. They want your data. So for us, it was more of the old honest approach of paying up front for services and for what we need, and that's the business model, right? Nothing to hide there. And it obviously made sense in terms of Microsoft and where they were headed. And it was pretty clear to us that the services that were coming online, and there's always new things. Look at AI now. It's just being embedded in everything. And that all of that stuff just flows. It just becomes value add for us as we progress, and as we started getting heavily into Power BI and dashboards for us for educational, development, there's another service that we leverage out of Microsoft, and it just all fits together. One thing that we learned, there's a couple of things. One is that anything hybrid, please have a good think about hybrid. I know it's easy to want to test the temperature of the water by just doing a little investigation here, and then maybe I'll run this hybrid setup of AD with a hybrid setup of Outlook and a hybrid setup of Exchange and all this hybrid stuff, which is kind of where we started. And I would suggest have a really good think about that. And often, the Band-Aid rip-off quickly is the better approach. Because later on, migrating from hybridized setups to go full cloud is often more of a nightmare. So, really put some thought into that. And, if you're going to do it, I think there's enough material and collateral out there now to know that this isn't going anywhere and this is a trusted service and a provider. That would be my one thing. Yeah.
Nice. And how's CNS, I guess, been involved in that journey with you and your school?
Yeah, look, I've shared late nights with CNS, and we've had a lot of moments. So I can say this. I can say that, I've always aligned myself with people and organisations that if I ring someone at 3 a.m, I'm not ringing at 3 a.m for a chat. I'm ringing you because I'm in trouble. And if someone answers that phone at 3 a.m., that's a win for me, right? I need bailout options. So, CNS they've never not answered the phone. The other thing as well was the specking of server and infrastructure and framing a complete redesign of what your core infrastructure looks like was really beneficial. You guys have got a lot of experience in that. I know Alex does particularly. So, it was just very comforting to have someone on board that has come with that legacy knowledge. It's not just cloud knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge base there of that old infrastructure laden environment, which is where we were, and moving into the cloud. That is comforting. So that's been incredibly helpful. The other thing is licensing. I'm sure it's better now, but, licensing at Microsoft is a full-time job. Hi, Alison. That is literally a nightmare, to try to sit down and work out all your licensing and what things are going to cost and spec and all the rest of it. So to have people on board that did all of that for us and took all that pain out, was massively beneficial. And just a really overall stress-free experience. It's not what I was expecting. I expected a lot of pain, but we really minimal pain. Our staff didn't even notice. People didn't even know that we'd done the majority of this work, which is what you want. That's a perfect result in my world. Yeah.